is what kind of education, yeah, what kind of education you want for your child. That's the question I want to start with. Yeah, you can type in chat, you can come on mic, share what kind of what is your dream education, or yeah, whatever. I'm just calling it dream education. You can give it any other word. What kind of education do you think would be most wonderful for your child? Right now, don't think whether it's possible or not possible. Just think that let's dream for a few minutes together. Yeah, so you can, as I said, share in chat. You can share on mic. Yeah, let's see where this group, what is this group looking for or dreaming for rather. Okay, who's saying skill based? So which skills? What skills? Okay, real life connect. Okay. Right. Sets right path to enhance child's abilities. Yeah. So the question is, so that's like the end result, right? What we are saying is, what kind of education will set the child's right path to enhance child's abilities, or what kind of education will enhance the child's abilities? Are you getting me? What kind of education would do what you are looking for? This is like an outcome. We're not talking about what should be the outcome of the education. We are saying what should be the ingredients of the education, let's say.
Right. Something that aligns with the child's interest.
Okay, aligns with the child's interest. Okay. Mohan is saying Gurukulam education. Again, that's a form of education. But what about it? What about the so-called Gurukulam education attracts you? Personally, I don't know anything about Gurukulam education because the time when Gurukulam education was there, I was not there. So I have no idea how the education was at that time, right? Maybe none of us have. We just have a kind of a historical perspective to it, nothing more than that. Okay, Kushbu's also put a whole list: life skills, leadership, entrepreneurship, digital, critical thinking, communication. Okay, can I just put this as life skills? Or if that is okay, too many of them. Okay,
Yeah.
or let's see if I can
Completely
copy
fine.
a whole lot of them. Right, life skills.
Lesson theory and more on practical application.
Okay,
Exactly.
let's
Experiential learning.
just one moment. Okay, so less on theory, more on practicals, experiential. Okay, education that enables self-discovery. Okay, self-discovery. This is Anusha. Yeah. Okay,
Basically
no,
preparing them for future.
Sorry?
Preparing them for future.
Right. That's it. That's what I said. That's the outcome. But let's ask this question: what will prepare them for future? Right. I would say $1 zillion in the bank will prepare them for future. But that's not
That's the
education. That's
answer is
something
life
else.
skills, because if you know how to deal with the life and
Sure.
you know
Skills,
how
yeah.
to have balance that.
Yeah. So we got the life skills there. Focus on experiential learning. Yeah. Two people are saying experiential education, experiential learning. What else? What would be your dream? If you were to redo education for yourself, how would you like to do it? In a way,
Stress-free education, like
and what will make it stress-free?
where the teachers don't impose on doing things, and children will choose what to do.
Okay, children will choose what to do. I'm just
Maybe
skipping the
no
first
exam
part
system.
about teachers. Yeah, I'm just putting
I
children's
think
will
as
choose.
a
Sorry.
students, they would love to have no exam system.
Okay. Yeah. No exams. Okay. What else? What else? Finding child's interest or making them find right way of looking them. Yeah, child's interest we've got, okay. They're finding way of living life. Okay, yeah, absolutely. Any other thought? Okay. This list also I've taken yours full list. Yeah. What else? What else? Anything else that is coming to your mind? Okay. Okay. They should also. I'm assuming when you say Madhukar fun and learning, you mean it should be enjoyable. Is that so? So then I'll put that
Yes.
as something which is enjoyable. And what will make learning enjoyable? Let me ask you that question. Or rather, let me ask you, what makes learning enjoyable to you? When is learning enjoyable to you? Because whenever it is learning is enjoyable to you, probably it will be same for everybody. So what
When it matches my
would make it?
interest,
Sorry,
when it matches my interest,
when it matches my interest. Yeah, we already wrote that down. Child's interest. Yes, when it matches.
When they work in the community, like work with their peer group.
Right. So when they are with others, right? When they are working with others. Okay. Yeah.
And when they see the results, like, okay,
But which results? Whose results? Whose result is important? Yeah. Is it what the world wants? Is it what somebody else wants? Or is it what I want? Which result is important?
self basically when I am trying to solve any puzzle and I am able to solve. So the eureka
Mm-hmm.
moment for the child. Yes, I did it.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So should I put it as achieve what I want to achieve? Whatever I want to achieve, rather than what the world is telling me to achieve. Yeah. Okay, I think that's a good, lot of interesting points here. Uh, in some ways, when we started our journey, we had a similar list. Obviously, the most important point we had was that, hey, let the child learn what the child wants to learn. As simple as that. Or do what the child is interested in doing, in the same way, achieving what they want to do, or finding out what is life for them. Because for somebody, a football can be life. For somebody, crochet can be life. For somebody, you know, making a website can be life. So different people have different, uh, in a way, different ways of living life, or their or what they want to do in their life. For somebody, making a house can be a life. So we started in a similar way. The only thought that was running in our mind when we started was that, hey, why do children need to fit in with some education system? Why can't it be the other way around? Why can't be the education be in such a way that it fits the child? This is the reason I'm saying this is because we saw that different children were having totally different needs and wants and styles and way of doing things. So and way of learning also. So when each one has a different need and a want, then why should we have a standardized kind of a system? Why can't it be based on what the child wants? Yeah. So that was where we started off. Uh, and that is how Aarohi came to picture. But as it evolved, more people joined us, and Aarohi was formed. Then we said, hey, let's tune into each child, what that particular child is wanting. Let's kind of see how we can deliver that, right? So, which is why what Aarohi does in a very simple way, we help the child to discover, develop, and nurture what is unique inside the child, not something which the world is saying, but what is inside the child. What are the child's passions, strengths, capabilities, talents, and so on, right? Now, how does Aarohi does that? Um, Now, when we look at what are the child's unique passions, strengths, how will anybody find that, right? What we think is these are typically the you can call them as stages or ingredients. The first one is exposure. Uh, Especially when children are young, they like a lot of exposure. They want to see, touch, feel, go into anything and everything. Then as they start getting exposed, they start picking up what they like and what they don't like. Somebody may like to play outdoors and let's say not read. And somebody may like to read a lot of storybooks, but not really play too much outside. Or somebody may like to do both of these things and maybe not do something else. So like that. So then the exploration starts where the child starts exploring. This is typically in the younger age group, right from 7, 6, 7, 8 to almost 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. They're more in the exploration stage where they're choosing what they want and wanting to explore that. And as they grow a little older, like say for 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, they get into what we call as the expertise stage, where they want to really go deep into whatever their one or two interests are. So the interests narrow down and then they go deeper into that. And then they can convert anything that they have gone deeper into what we call as the enterprise stage, as in they can start literally earning out of it. Yeah. So these are the broad stages. Again, they're not really fixed by age. Even at 56, I could be exploring something. And even now, I would be getting exposed to new things. So it's not like a watertight categories, but these are broadly the ingredients we are looking at. A lot of exposure, a lot of exploration, which gets converted into expertise, and then expertise gets converted into enterprise, which could be jobs or it could be entrepreneurship or freelancing, whatever they want to do. Yeah. So that's how we work with the child. Yeah. Just to kind of little for you to get an idea, here's a small video. This video charts out the journey of Drupad. He's my son, and he has never gone to school ever, and he's just sharing how his journey has been over this 20 years. So yeah, let's watch.
How did I become a professional without ever going to school? At Aarohi, I've always been doing something. Whether it was a skill worth learning or, well, this stuff. I've been a part of Aarohi my whole life, and I've gone through the 4 stages of learning, but I like to call them the quad E's. The first stage is exposure, where I was being introduced to new concepts like gardening, cooking, music, building stuff. A lot of stuff. Then I moved on to the second stage, exploring, experimenting and gaining hands-on experience. Here I did things like photography, art, fitness, adventure sports, and well, normal sports. After this, I leveled up to stage 3, which is expertise, where I try to master my skills and dive deeper into different things. I played football for 4 years at different academies trying to become professional. I started working out and taking fitness more seriously. And digital marketing, where I started off with trying paid ads, web designing, slowly transitioning to social media and media production, which is what I'm doing right now, by the way. I even got my first internship for social media management, which was not paid. The final stage is enterprise, where I start earning while learning. In this stage, I got my second internship in a social media role where I learned a lot about social media and how the content production world works. Finished that and then started a content agency with my friend, and I'm also doing a part-time job with a podcasting agency right now where I'm learning more about different types of content. Usually I do short form content and podcasting is something totally different. So these are the 4 stages of learning that I've been through with Aarohi, and well, the learning never stops, but yeah, this is what you get if you join Aarohi.
Okay,
Bye.
so that was Drupad sharing his journey through exposure, explorations, expertise, and now he's in the enterprise stage of his life. To go a little more detailed into what are the key aspects that Aarohi works on. The first thing, obviously, is that each child's learning plan is based on what that child likes. So when the child joins Aarohi, the first question that we ask, and we keep asking that question ever after that, is, hey, what would you like to do? What would you like to do today, this week, this month, this year? And as children keep coming up with different things, somebody wants to do this, somebody wants to do that. That's where we start designing a personalized plan for that. Obviously, this plan is not just designed by the child, but we sitting with the child and the family. So the parents are also closely involved because the parents know the child. We obviously are there to mentor the child, and the child knows himself or herself best. So the child is the one who's actually making the learning plan with us. The second thing is, once the plan is ready, now we have to look for resources, explorations, projects, and all kinds of things which will give the child the required skills, knowledge, concepts in those areas. So if a child says, I want to learn chess, then one can look for what kind of resources, what kind of people he can play chess with, what kind of resources will help him in this. Is there something else that he can do to get better in the chess, and so on. So that's where the matching game starts. And that's where, again, we play a very important role, trying to match and not just match, expand that particular domain, whatever the child has chosen, with bringing in lots and lots and lots of other aspects to that. So if a child just says, I want to draw, we can go into, oh, you want to draw on the walls, you want to draw on a notebook, you want to get into Zentangles, you want to get into a particular form of art, you want to get into graphic illustrations. You see, we can expand the whole thing about, let's say, just drawing. So like that, a lot of expansion. The third thing that we do at Aarohi is that we bring in a lot of real world experiences where we travel a lot, do a lot of things out there with the real world, a lot of projects, a lot of going to places, a lot of travel, because we are not limited to being in one place. And one of the interesting things we do is we have something called as jobs, which could be event management. And just like, to give you an example, every year, Aarohi's accounts are managed by one of the child. In this slideshow, if you see one of the child, when he was 11 years old, he was the accountant of Aarohi for a year. Every year, the accountant changes. Yeah, this boy is the accountant 2 years back, not now. And he was 11 at that time. And so a 10, 11, 12 years old takes care of the accounts of the whole year, including all debit, credit, vouchers, balance sheets, profit and loss, right till it goes to the chartered accountant. So what probably somebody would learn in BCom or MCom, they would finish it off in a practical way here. So that's just one example. There are like that so many examples that they get exposed to. Also, as somebody had pointed out, a lot of focus on nurturing confidence, emotional intelligence, leadership skills, social skills. What we have done is, over these so many 26 years of our working with children, we have researched a lot and collected a whole lot of tools, techniques, processes, interventions that help in developing all of these. So not only these are in our focus, but there are also a lot of tools and ways and approaches to develop these. Yeah, that's what we call as preparation for life, like somebody was saying, the life skills. And finally, the fifth thing that we do is we help the teenagers. This is more for the teenagers to take their passions into profession. So a whole lot of teenagers, the oldest right now is 21. They go from their interest to actually getting into a profession. For example, the children shown in the slideshow, Srijini is now 18. She has been there for the last 3-4 years. And she is into baking now, getting up into baking business. Shreya is into designing, right now into fashion designing. Ashwati is into filmmaking. Arush is again into media development, and so on. So Aparna is into mud construction. Like that, we have whole lot of teenagers which pick up a domain and then they go deeper into domain. They do the industry works, they do client projects. They start earning actually much early because they do a lot of client projects, and they also do internships and so on. And from there, they get into the industry. What they take to the industry is that they are work certified. So they may not have a degree of, let's say, given by a university. But what they have is industry certifying them. Yes, these people are amazing. And that is how they get internships and job offers and clients and so on. Yeah. So these are primarily the kind of action that happens in Aarohi. One of the other important thing is we work very closely with the parents. So it's not just that we are working with the child. In fact, a lot of parents you will see if you go to our website and see the case studies kind of section, will be saying, forget the child. I learned so much with my child being at Aarohi. I grew so much because we work very closely with the parents, and parents work not just closely with their child, but with other children also. So it becomes a beautiful group that is working together with each other. Yeah, so that's the involvement of the parent, which we call as parent.in. Yeah. And let me also clarify what Aarohi does not do. So first of all, Aarohi is not a school. Second thing is, I'm not a sir. Many of you were calling me sir. I'm Ratnesh. Just call me Ratnesh. Also, we don't focus on academic subjects. We rather make a personalized learning plan. If any of the subjects the child wants to focus on, that's obviously a child's choice. We also don't prepare anybody for any examination, but if a child wants to give an examination, the child will prepare himself or herself. If the child needs some extra support, the child, maybe child needs some tuitions in a particular or coaching in a particular subject, the child can look for an outside resource to do that. We don't provide certification, but we do provide what we call as portfolio building or work certification, where the portfolio talks about what all you have done, and that's what takes you forward. Yeah, as everybody was mentioning, we do a lot. The whole learning is integrated learning, which is by doing, by experiencing, and then expanding it into many, many different forms. So a very, in a way, very organic form of learning that happens here. For some people ask, do you work with special children? Well, we believe that we work with any and every child, but we don't have any special educators or separate classes for any one child. Rather, we focus on each child's strengths and work with those strengths, rather than trying to be bringing in any agenda. And finally, we don't really like disciplining anybody, but rather we want every child to be an empowered self-leader, responsible individual. So the key word is always responsibility. And that comes when all of us together, we run our campus, we run our life together, and we become responsible and self-leaders. So that's what Aarohi does not do, and what Aarohi do. What does? How does Aarohi work for you? Well, if you, the main thing is that we have a campus which is about 2 hours from Bangalore, but it falls under Tamil Nadu. It's near to the city of Hosur. So typically, we say minimum the child would join Aarohi for a year. Maximum, there is no maximum. Children have been here for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. As you heard Drupad say, all his life he has been in Drupad. So in Aarohi. So that's like 20 years. So there's no limit to till when you can be part of Aarohi. And the family keeps coming to the campus, be part of the Aarohi and child's life as and when you want. Right? So it's not like you are sending the child to somewhere. Rather, you are also coming in, going out, coming in, going out, depending on where you are staying and how frequently you can come. Also, the whole plan of the year is very flexible. When the child wants to be here, the child is here. When the child wants to be at home, the child is at home. So that kind of a planning is typically done by the family. It is not like we want the child to be all the time here or all the time at home. The child keeps moving back and forth. That really, as I said, depends on the child and the family. So that's broadly what Aarohi offers. For people who cannot come to the campus or maybe have younger children, the option, and the child alone cannot stay. So one option is the child can come with the parents, so you can come regularly. The other options are we have support programs for you, even if you are in another city and you want to work with your child at home. So we have different programs, a whole lot of programs which are listed on our website. Plus, as I said, we do a support program, which is an ongoing support program. Yeah. So that's what. But the main focus is obviously the children coming at campus, especially the older children. For the teenagers who are from around 14, 15 to older age, who are into from passion to profession journey, we call that as Overcity. That's a separate name given so that they are more focused on their, taking their passion, or rather first finding their passion and then converting that passion into a profession by deeply going into different skills and knowledge related to that particular field. So yeah, that's all of that happens at the campus. Yeah. Right. And so if you are interested in being part of the campus, your child being part of the campus, let me also tell you the next couple of steps is you can have a one-to-one call, your whole family and one of us on a video call. And the second step would be that you come and visit the Aarohi campus, stay with us for a week, Monday to Friday, and actually experience how all of this happened. I'm right now just talking, but when you actually experience it, that's when you get the real idea of this kind of learning, which is kind of built around the child. How does that happen? Yeah, so that's why we invite families to come and stay with us. And the whole family comes, and that's where the real understanding would happen. Okay, so let me stop here. I think I've given you a quick, brief overview. Yeah, so now we can have discussion. You can ask questions or you can share any thoughts. More people can come on video. That would be nice. I can have a video connect with all of you. You can share anything specific to your child also. Or if you just want to ask some questions about Aarohi, you can ask. Yeah.
So as of now, you told that parents can involve and they can keep, they can visit and stay and all. So what would be the parents' role actually, like once they are there? So parents will be in their total different world. So what would be the parents' role if they have to involve with the children? Any help? How is it? Just wanted to know.
No. You're not here to help the child. You're here to help yourself. You're here to enjoy yourself. So the parent role is very simple. Come as a learner. Don't come as a teacher. We don't need teachers. We need more learners. Learners will learn and teach each other. That's a different thing. So, for example, if you say, hey, I like doing, I don't know what you like doing. Let's say you like climbing trees. I don't know what you like, right? And you say, okay, I'm climbing trees. Anybody who likes to join them will anyway join you. If nobody joins you, how does it matter? You are enjoying doing what you like doing. Or let's say you like doing programming. So you can sit here and do programming and somebody can come and do programming with you. And even if nobody comes, you do what you do. Also, more importantly, you also explore other things. So the idea is, as adults, we don't become like one, Gyanis. We don't need to be. If we create an environment of learning, of joy, of energy, that's what actually everybody needs. So typically when parents come here, they are no more parents. We don't call them parents. We don't call children children. We are only all learners and doers. And just like your child would be planning for his or her day that I am doing this, you would be planning your day. I'm doing this. You will be sharing. Your child will be sharing. I will be sharing. And together we will all co-create our day. So
Okay,
the idea is you are.
How would be the support from the
with
parents? Like in case if the child chooses for any profession, or later we'll get to know like really child what he or she likes. So what would be the parents' role when we get to know like how do we support? Like do you guide us? How do we know that?
That's what I was saying. We work very closely with the parents. You are literally connected on a day-to-day basis, even when you are physically not here, right? We have a whole system of being connected with each other. And it will all depend on what your child needs. We are a team. So it's not like what is your role, what is my role, what is child role. We are a team working for the child, for each child. And not just for your child. You could be helping another child who's not your child, but you think I can mentor that child, right? But more importantly, coming back to your child, a whole team. Now look at the team size. The child's parents, the child, some of us who are called as facilitators or mentors, and then the whole lot of other parents and children. All of them are supporting the child. So it's not one person who is supporting. It's the whole group is, the whole community is supporting. So let's say there are 30 families. You can literally think of 30 pairs of parents are thinking about your child. 30 children are thinking about your child. Your child is thinking, you are thinking, we are thinking. So we are all working for each other. So that's the kind of, the community that we have. Yeah.
Thank you.
And anybody could mentor, anybody could guide there. We are obviously all the time there. We are all the time thinking, observing, planning for your child, we are there. That's our role. But everybody else is also supporting. Yeah, Anusha.
My son is right now is 11 years old. When I ask him like, what are your interests? He say he wants to be in math. Like his math is his interest, and along with that, electronics.
Sure.
Do you have expertise who can help him guide on like the math and the electronics and programming? Like, do you have the people who can help him learn more into his what he
Right.
wants to do?
Yeah. So Anusha, the way we work is we don't work by thinking who can help him. That's not important. The most important person who can help him is himself. Right? Now we start with the child. Okay, you want to, let's say he says, I want to do electronics. Okay, what would you like to do in electronics? Okay, he may say, I don't know what I want to do. Or he may say, I want to make something like this happen or that happen. You say, okay, so and for that, what do you need? And he may say, I may need to know how does this work. Okay, so how can you find out how this works? He may say, I will Google. Or he may say, I will read it in a book. Or he may say that I'm not able to understand this. I need somebody to help me understand this. Right? Now, if it comes to a stage that he is not able to figure out something, again, there's no hurry for us to say, okay, we will find somebody. We'll first ask him, where can you find somebody who can help? So he learns how to find people who can help me. First of all, straight away, we are not helping him. If for some reason he's not able to find them, we will guide him how to find people to help you. So everybody starts looking for their mentors, and the whole world is available for us. The first thing we tell a child when a child comes to us is that you are the center of the universe, and everybody in this world is there to help you. Now go ahead, ask for help. Okay, find your own resources. It's very, very easy. Actually, if I ask you, Anusha, a very simple thing. Okay, tell me one thing that you are good at. Tell me any one thing that you are good at.
Like
Anything.
anything
Anything that you are good at.
like I am good at like playing with kids. Like I love kids around.
No,
Like
no, leave the kids part. Anything else that you are good at.
Good at singing.
Singing. Okay. So if there is a child who is into singing and he says, he comes to you and says, Anusha aunty, can you help me with my singing? Will you say no to him?
No.
No? That's it. That's the answer. Okay. Till now, in our 26 years of working with children, and maybe we would have worked with about 16,000 children, not even once any adult has said, no, I will not work with a child. Whomever we approach, wherever we approach, everybody says yes. That is the beauty of this whole world. Everybody is ready to help children when they are interested in something. See, if he is coming and saying, I like to make this electronics, then anybody who's interested in electronics is ready to help him. That is the beauty. The problem is other way around. If I'm interested in electronics and I want to teach Anusha electronics, who's not interested in electronics, then it becomes a problem. Right? Then you are not ready and I'm pushing my own agenda of teaching you. But when the child is interested, then anybody is ready to help. So there is no dearth of resources, whether he needs coding, whether he needs electronics, whether he wants to, make a rocket, whether he wants to do crochet, whether he wants to do piano, whatever the children want to learn, there are resources available. And at a certain level, he or she may need a professional coaching. Right? That's the level, that's the expertise level I was talking about. When they become 14, 15, 16, 17. So then they also at least look for outside resources. Like we have had a number of children who have been into football. My son himself played football for 5 years at a professional level. Now, professional coaching he won't get by calling somebody on phone. So he went to a professional coach. So we find resources, right? We meaning, again, the parents, we all together team up and see which resource. In fact, in many of these cases, again, they found the resource, they just told us, we need this resource. You just pay the bill. So yes, resources can be found. There is no dearth of resources in today's world, especially with internet. You can be mentored by somebody living in Australia. How does it matter? Yeah, especially something like coding. Oh, there are like zillion coders in this world. Everybody's ready to help. They are coding communities. They're coding. I'll give you another example. There's this boy who is into music creation. He uses machine for creating music, not instruments. Okay. So he is part of a Discord group which is into music. So when he posts his piece of music, you will get some 10 different people from all over the world replying, hey, your bass is too low. Hey, your entry points are not okay. Hey, your this is not. So he is learning from people whom he don't even know. He's not even seen them because there's no photograph there. It's only an online community. So that's the beauty of learning. Right? I don't need to be an expert in music, but I can guide him. Hey, look for some communities where you can seek help. And that's what we call as global education. You can literally learn from anybody.
Thank you.
Sorry, I gave a very long answer to your simple question. But that also to me showed the way we approach the whole learning. It has to be through the child, not we doing. If we quickly run around and get something for the child, then what is the fun? The child is not growing. Where are the life skills? Where is the child feeling strong about himself?
Yeah.
So that's the whole idea.
So like I have one more thing. Like instead of the child going to the internet and trying to find resources himself, do you like since you have already worked with a lot of children who might be interested in like electronics and stuff, you also
Sure.
must have few contacts of people like who are good at mentoring the children mainly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That is, when he reaches that stage, so there's an advantage. It is called in learning terminology. It is called as constructive learning. If I directly go to a teacher very quickly, he will show me the answer. Then I'm not constructing any learning. Okay, but when you actually construct your learning yourself, for example, how did every one of us learn our mother tongue? Okay, nobody sat down and to a 1-year-old and said, I will teach you how to speak mother tongue. No, the child only constructed it from what people were speaking, what mom was speaking, what dad was speaking, what TV was speaking, what other people were speaking. He pieced it together. Initially, the grammar was not okay, but slowly, the child polished and came to a sound mother tongue. So that's called constructivism. So the idea is to first encourage constructivism because that's the thinking ability. That's when you analyze, that's when you create, that's when you put the piece together, that's when you see the patterns. So those are building blocks of learning. And they're all there in each one of us. We just have to encourage them to use it. If we straight away start feeding in, okay, then it doesn't work. Then we are not using all those energies. We are saying, no, you don't use your energy, use my gyan. I know already in electronics, I will tell you what is a diode. What's the fun? But if he takes few diodes, puts them in circuits, blows them up, comes running, uncle, it's all blown up. Then it's more fun, right? That's when the real fun starts. In fact, we have a video just last 2 weeks back. This child was setting up sensors on our staircase to switch on and off the light only when people are walking. Otherwise, the light is on whole night. And everything he did, and at the end, poof, it blew off when he installed it. In testing and all, it worked perfectly. So for 2 weeks, he was saying no to electronics. And then he came back after 2 weeks and said, Uncle, shall we buy another? Like that. So it happens. Yes. That's the beauty. But yes, when it is appropriate for him to connect with a guide or a mentor, either he will find it or we will help him find it. Right. More thoughts, more questions. Yes, Dinesh.
So Ratnesh, I was wondering, I have a kid who's 7-year-old who's turning 8 soon. I was wondering how you would handle, kids change, right? So, my kid wants to be a football player one day, and the very next day he wants to be, an engineer who's working with Lego,
Sure.
right? So, uh, you know, like let's say 2 to 3 months they are curious in one thing and they're exploring, and the very next thing, as you said, the electronics thing, the example you gave previously, it blew up. He was frustrated for 2 weeks. He said no, and then he came back. So but let's say they don't come back, right? They explore something for 3 months and then they completely go off track to something else, right? And they start putting interest in that. So
Yes.
how do you currently handle this? And if you have any examples, if you could share, I think that would also be very helpful to understand how Aarohi adaptively handles young kids' change. Yeah.
We don't handle anything. We don't need to. We don't need to. There is absolutely no hurry to, just because he has worked or she has worked for 2 months or 1 week or even one day on something, doesn't mean that he or she needs to sustain it more and learn it more. Nothing like that. Whenever the child is ready, the child will come back to it. If the child is not ready, the child has left it for good, that's also okay. There's absolutely no. Obviously, some amount of reflection goes into it. Because we reflect on a daily basis. If the child is saying, no, I'm feeling bored with it now, or am I feeling difficult with it now, or am I not finding the right resources for it? So what is the reason? Why is the child wanting to move away from something? Yeah, and once the child has decided to move away from something, that's absolutely fine. That's the child's decision. In fact, I don't need to give examples. I'm sure you, Dinesh, and Anusha, and Sumit, all of us would have left something in life and never gone back to it. And some things in life which we came back to it little later, maybe 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down. How does that matter? That is life. And at 7, at 8, at 15, it is beautiful that this is happening. Children are designed to explore things, then leave things, and explore something else and leave it, and then explore something else and leave it, and explore something else and leave it. The leaving is not the problem. In the exploration, they have gained something. They've become more stronger, more knowledgeable, they're sharper brain. Machinery has worked on. Now move on to the next thing. That is not required that we need to get stuck with it. If it is of interest, the child will automatically come back, because we are not telling the child, oh, you have to do this or you don't have to do this, right? Just to give you an example, my son played football for 5 years, almost 4.5 years actually. And one fine day on lunch, he announces, done with football. Right? And then no more football. I mean, he still plays for fun, but no more professional football. He has switched the fields totally. So we have all kinds of examples, right? And there is, and at 7, 8, 9, 10, as I'm telling, at the exploratory age, that is the beauty of it. In a day, they will change. Forget weeks after months. They will start something after 10 minutes. This is boring. I'm not doing this. That's okay. They will come back to it. Don't worry. if they really like it, if they connect with it. So we don't really have to do anything. We just observe. We just make a note. Okay, this child tried this, did not like this, is wanting to leave it now. This is the reason the child is wanting to leave something. And that's okay. Yeah. At times it has been, it's too difficult, uncle. Okay, so what do you want to do? You want to make it easy or you want to leave it? I want to leave it. Okay, leave it. That's okay. We know you have left it because you found it difficult. But that does not mean that he will find everything. He will leave everything that he finds difficult. He will find his own persistence. He will find his own resilience. It's all there inside the child. We have to find it. We have to find it inside the child. We can't stuff it from outside. And it is there. It is there in every one of us. When we start liking something, we get stuck with it.
Okay. I'm happy we are aligned on this, because sometimes, even teachers we meet in school, they try to tell the kid, you already spent 2 months on this, why not pursue further?
Yeah.
That is something I'm opposed against, but I just wanted to show if that's why I asked examples of how Aarohi handles it. But thank you. I think your response was very much aligned with
Please
mine.
realize
I'm
we
very
are not in
satisfied.
handling business at all. We don't handle anything in it. If 2 children are fighting, we are not going to handle it. For us, we are going to observe it first, observe what is happening. And how can that situation, whether it is leaving something, whether it's getting into something new, whether it's a fight, whether it's anything that has happened, how can that be used for learning? How can we expand that particular situation or happening into understanding myself? So that's an opportunity for, let's say 2 people are fighting. Let's say Dinesh has a fight with somebody, right? So that's an opportunity for Dinesh to understand himself, isn't it? So we like fights. We welcome conflicts. So all of these are the essential curriculums of life. If we say nothing bad should happen, then there is no life only. Right? So that is the whole approach. So that's why we are saying we are just mentors. We are mentors, facilitators, whatever you want to call us. Right? Our role is to observe and then see how best we can expand that, enrich that. add more value to it. That's what we do.
Thank you. Thank you, Ratnesh.
Most welcome. Okay, more questions if you have. As I said, if you need a specific question, if you want a specific, sorry, just one more. If you need a specific time to discuss your specific child, you can ask us for a one-to-one. I'm sure most of us are on WhatsApps any which way. But anyway, I'm just putting the WhatsApp number here again. So if you want a one-to-one to discuss your child joining Aarohi and specific to your child, that's absolutely fine. If you don't want to discuss it, yeah. So that's normally the next step, and then the most important step is you have to visit and stay with us for a week. That's what you should start thinking about. Even if you don't want the one-to-one, you say, let's just go and visit, and that time only we will do one-to-one. That's even better. Awesome. So we are not too keen on one-to-ones. We are more keen on come stay with us, actually experience how the whole place works. Yeah. I think Sumit was asking something.
So if a child is not really clear as to what interests him, so let's say he's not really focused on anything, or there's no single area of interest that is of huge interest to him, what happens then?
Okay, so first of all, Sumit, that is good news. Why is it good news? At that age, they're not supposed to suddenly find everything in their life at 13. I couldn't find at 30. How will they find at 30? So it's good news that they are lost. I would say at 13, if they're saying 13, 14, 15, if they're saying, I don't know, uncle, what I want to do, I say, great. Okay, come on, let's then start just doing whatever you feel like doing right now. If right now you feel like baking a cake, let's bake a cake. Right? That's the whole idea. Let's start somewhere. Let's get into this action of doing whatever one feels like doing. Right? And then slowly out of that, the child only discovers himself. So this whole discovery process is very, very beautiful. And it takes time. Obviously, it is time because it's the child who is searching himself. We are not doing any analysis and trying to find anything. We are just giving more and more options, exposure. Hey, would you like to make a movie? Hey, would you like to do this? Hey, would you like to do that? Okay. And the child is saying, no, I don't want to make a movie. Yeah, but I would like to make a tower. Oh, I want to do this. I don't want to do that. Okay, let's do some theater. No, uncle. Okay, next day he only comes up and says, uncle, let's do some theater. Okay. So like this. So we are only giving lots and lots of options. And the child is picking, exploring, and slowly discovering himself. Yeah. So this process of discovery is very beautiful. And as I keep saying, in the whole process, all the explorations that the child does, okay, is something that makes the child stronger. Right? So it's not that those explorations are discounted. It's like a tiger is all the deers that he has eaten, if that makes any sense, right? Every deer is important. It's not like a big feast only will help. So that's what we say. So yeah, it is not, we are not expecting, forget a 7, 8, even a 13, 14, 15-year-old, even 17, 18, I'm not expecting them to be very clear about what they want to do. Even my daughter, only by around 1920, she became clear that she wants to be in the field of sustainability. But it took her so many years to figure out lots and different things she did. She did art, she did dance, she did building construction, she did cafes, she did so many different things. Even at past her adult age, and then she started slowly figuring out that sustainability is the field that she wants to work with. Now she's a professional in that field at age of 26.
No, I agree with you. See, most of the people go through their entire lives without figuring out what their passion is. So
absolutely, I agreed with you. So that's because they too soon get stuck to something without realizing if that is what. So that is why children's age is to explore.
no, I quite like the concept. I quite like the concept that child has to explore, find something that is of interest to him, because I can relate it to my own life. There are a lot of things I've learned.
Yeah.
And I mean, because I was interested in. I
Yes.
wasn't only trained in that, but I
Yes.
picked it up because out of interest. So and versus what do you call a formal education where the child is stuck with something that he might not be interested in. I mean, this way where the child really discovers what really moves him, what really he's passionate about. I think that is excellent.
Yeah. Okay, we have about a minute, so we can take one more question. We typically keep these orientations from 5 to 6, and we just ensure that we keep it every Saturday. So you can keep coming back. If you want to attend multiple times, you're most welcome if you have more questions. So yeah, anybody, one last question we can take.
So, is it a regular campus program or for outskirts? Like, for example, we stay in New Delhi, so you have something planned in other way also.
No, come over. New Delhi is close by.
I'm planning to visit,
Yes,
but
yes. We have had children from New Delhi, from Chandigarh, from Uttarakhand, from Rajasthan. Just now, one child is there from Ahmedabad. So it isn't to do with where you live in, because again, you can come, you can even be with the child for some time, and you can go back. Child can go back. Who can come? You can come. It's all very. If the child says, "Okay, this 1 month I'm going to be staying at home," great, awesome. Okay, next 2 months I'll be here, great, awesome. So it's not like fixed anything, because for us, whether the child is at home or whether the child is at campus, both ways the child is learning, right? And we are all connected. It's not like when the child has gone home, we are not bothered what the child is doing, and when the child is here, you are not bothered what the child is doing here, right? So we are all connected on a regular basis.
okay, thank you.
So when the child is at home, like the child will have his own plan what to do that period of time.
Yeah. And again, there you are playing a major role because you are there with the child. We are playing a supportive role. When the child is here, we are playing a major role because we are here with the child, and you are at your home, you are playing a supportive role. So we keep changing that role based on where the child is. Absolutely. Yeah.
So is there any minimum time duration that he has to spend at the campus? Because you also stay in Hyderabad.
Yeah, see, totally it's a year. In that, there's no minimum, but invariably you will be here a lot, the child will be here a lot, and you will be back home. It will all depend individually. Again, there's no formula to us. There is no, but yeah, typically the child will spend a significant amount of time here simply because there's so many other children here and so many other adults here and so many resources here. This campus is a 5-acre campus packed with resources. So the amount of options, the amount of resources that one gets. If suddenly one wants to work with sensors are there. They wanted to make a zip line rope, cables, pulleys were there. They want to do drumming is there. So you get the point. So there's so many things here. And then there's so many things happening here on a daily basis. Somebody is doing something. So I can get involved in that and I can get involved in that. So those kind of things are not there at home. So that's the reason invariably the child will be here more. In fact, you may need to say, okay, chalo, I will go to campus since I'm missing him or her. I will go to the campus and stay there for a few weeks rather than him coming to home. Any which way.
And can an 11-year-old can stay in the campus without a parent?
Mostly, yes, 11-year-old should be. But again, it depends on each child. Initially, he may need you or she may need you for a certain amount of time till the child feels comfortable. So it really, frankly speaking, it depends on each child. Sometimes even a 13-year-old is resistant, and we have had 7 and 8 years old also living here alone. So it really depends on each child. And we are saying there's no hurry. Please let the child become comfortable. Let the child say to you, Mama, go. I don't want you. That should be the ideal time for you to, okay, now I will go. Now he's ready. He should be taking the decision, not you.
And can a 3-year-old come to for a 5-day stay there?
Yeah, if you're coming for your 11-year-old, obviously you won't leave your 3-year-old at home. Yes, absolutely. Now, there have been 3 years old in part of the campus, but then they live very close by. People shift. There are people who shift their houses, take up a house on rent near to the campus, 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer away in the town, and then they commute here daily basis. So those kind of examples have been there. Still, right now, there is one family staying about 2 kilometers away. They've taken up a house and living. So, but yeah, that's so children of any age are okay, but then a 3-year-old would definitely need the parent with them. So that way. Yeah. But when you're coming for stay visit, yes, whole family welcome. Even grandparents you can bring. Absolutely fine.
Okay.
Okay. So I think we can pause with that. That was a good note that we paused with grandparents. They are a lovely resource. We loved having grandparents here with so many stories and so many interesting things to learn from them, right? So yeah, so please let us know how do you want to take this forward. If you want to have a one-to-one call, that's fine. But most importantly, if you are planning here, I'll put the link also. Just look up that link for the week stay. It is aarohilive.org/experience. If you type that, you will get to the page where you can register for a week stay. There are many options, so you can choose which week you want to come, and then one of us will further help you out with the rest of your questions in terms of coming here. Yeah. But the first thing is you go visit the page, read the details, register. There's a registration form there itself. You can register your, choose the week, and then one of us would help you with your trip to stay with us. Yeah. Okay, so let's pause this for now. Thank you. It was an interesting discussion with all of you, and we'll stay connected and hopefully get an opportunity to learn from all of you. Yeah, bye-bye. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, thanks
you.
so much. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Ratnesh. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.